Hello everybody, welcome to the channel. Gonna do a little first look today at this guitar that I got out of California. This is kind of a barn find, probably an estate sale type thing. There was this guitar and a bass. I ended up getting the guitar, not the bass, but this came out of Redland, California. So been a little time getting here with the holidays and whatnot. But anyway, as you can tell by the case, it's got an Ibanez case, old case, not the original case. It's an old case, but it's not that old because of the logo. So what we have in here is we've got a 1974 Ibanez 2375 Strat copy. So this is from 1974. This would have been made in the Fujian plant. I believe I'm saying that correctly. I don't know, my Japanese isn't that good. But that was a factory in where they made in the 70s. They made a lot of copies, Les Paul copies, SG, Strat, Tele copies. And then eventually, actually, went on to actually make fenders, the made in Japan fenders. So, but this is like I say, it's an Ibanez 2375. So I'll get the case out of the case and move our camera around, and we'll take a closer look at it. Okay, got it out where we can kind of look at it a little bit. Turn this light on, maybe help. It's a rainy day in Georgia today. It's kind of dark. These were made, like I say, in Japan. A lot of different manufacturers. Ibanez, Graco, Vox. I mean, a list goes on. I think even Yamaha. All these were made a lot the same. This particular guitar has got a mahogany body with a birch cap, front and back, a birch veneer on the front and the back. And something that designates this as Ibanez, because the logo is long gone, it's got the two-piece rear cover, the black and the white, and it also uses a smaller screw than like a Fender does. That's one of the things. And at some point, somebody has changed the neck plate because it would have made in Japan right here. But it's a pre-75. Because it don't have a serial number after 75. I think Ibanez actually started a serial number type thing. So, that's the neck. They use like a Gibson style nut. Got the truss rod under here. Also have a single string tree. And on this particular one, somebody has reamed out the holes to accept, the bigger tuners. Somebody has changed the tuners. And I don't blame them, because the tuners that came on these weren't really all that. We're done losing screws out here. So that's that as far as the basics of it. The neck is a 21 fret, 12-inch radius, the best I can tell. And I'll show this closer, but this guitar has been played, played to death. So 12-inch radius. You got a .87 at the first fret as far as your neck thickness. And at the 12th fret, we got like a .96. And of course, it's a 25.5-inch scale, just like a Fender would be. So I'm going to there ain't a couple of screws, maybe one, that's holding this pick guard on. And we're going to show you, I'll show you, it's a 3-way selector switch. And it's had the witch hat knobs. One's missing, one's good, and one's completely broke. But it's still stuck on there. But they use the smaller screws in the pick guard. A regular Strat pick guard will fit right on it. But they are not exactly the same as far as the switch, because the 3-way switch uses a smaller area here. So if you're going to use a 5-way switch, you can change it over to a regular Fender pick guard will fit right on here. So what these have, and I'm not sure if all of them do, but they use, and let me see if I can get this in the camera, they use Maxon Pickups. These are where you get your date. If I can maybe the thing turned around here where we can see. Okay, you can see the codes on the pickups. The first number, which is a 2, that's like a manufacturer number. Then we've got 4315 on all of them. And that the 4 designates 1974. The 3 will be the month of the year, which will be March. And then the 15 will be the date. So these were made in March 15th of 1974. And they're staggered pole. You've got your 500K pots, the 3-way switch. And these switches are a little hard to come by, so a lot of them got changed to a 5-way and thrown away, whatever. So the switch, then you can see the body has some kind of interesting, the route on the body is kind of interesting. So we try to move everybody around, shake everybody up. You know, you see how it's routed down the side rather than down the center. But you can see the mahogany in here. And then, like I say, it has a birch cap. It also, they did actually route a place if you had a neck that used your truss rod adjustment was in the heel of the neck. They did actually route a channel to access that, even though this one doesn't have one that way. So, you know, they're pretty cool. The pickups sound good in these. I hadn't, of course, played this one, and I'll show a little closer on that reason why. But as far as like your DC resistance, your bridge pickup is a 4.81. The middle is a 4.86. And then your neck is a 4.74. And then that, you know, that's probably one of the reasons it uses the 500K pots, is that's rather low output. So the 500 is going to make them a little brighter and all that. The capacitor, I'm not sure. You know, I hadn't even looked to see about the capacitor, what value it is on it. So this thing, and if I can get it to where I can show it, and I don't know that I can, we'll give it a shot. We'll give it a shaky shot. If you can see this pickup, how sharp the edge is on the plastic cover, you know, just like a new pickup kind of. If you notice on these, they're worn down, plumb rounded right here on the edge. I mean, they're really worn down. Somebody has played this thing till it's just, they've worn those pickups down. And I think I can get that to where you can see it. You can see that one's still sharp, kind of on the edges. These are rounded way down. And then as far as the frets, you know, it's a 21 fret, but they're, and I don't know if I can show this, these frets are wore out. I mean, they're absolutely worn. somebody has played this thing. I mean, so you can see they're just worn down. Worn completely down. The nut is wore down too, so I'll have to replace the nut. So that's it's really been played, and it's actually pretty authentically relicked. I mean, it's, you know, there's a lot of beat and banged out places on it. I mean, it's really been around. 1974. This thing's seen some days, but you can see the mahogany right there. And it looks to me, just judging from the end, maybe looking at it, it may be like four pieces of mahogany to make the body. Some of these were, and I'm not necessarily saying the Ibanez, but a lot of these older copies use the what people call a plywood body, but it's not actually plywood, like, you know, a sheet of plywood. It was, you know, layers of wood put together, and but this one's actually mahogany with the birch cap on the front and the back. And, you know, the logo is long since gone. Somebody's taken that off. But something, if I can get the light right, that's so interesting about this is, one, there's 4 different sections to this headstock. You have this wing here, this one, this. But this, if you can see, there's some bird's eye going on in that. I mean, it's actually a pretty piece of wood. It's a shame that the whole neck wasn't like that. And I don't know if we're going to be able to see, but the 3 sections of the neck, you know, this has got some bird's eye going on in it too. So that's kind of cool. But, you know, 3-piece neck. And, you know, a lot of companies use the 3-piece neck. PV, I think even Gibson, has used 3-piece necks. So, you know, that's that's about it with, you know, overall. But what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to try to, you know, get this thing restored in some kind of shape. The pickups, you know, I've tapped on them. They work. The switch is a little sketchy in the neck position. It either will or won't work. It all needs cleaning. That's really very dirty. I mean, the whole guitar is extremely dirty. I mean, I hadn't done any cleaning on it. You know, it's got all the DNA, but it's, you know, pretty cool. The trim is locked down tight. I hadn't taken the back cover off to see anything about that. I know it's got a full-size block, and if I'm thinking right, it'll be made to the trim. It don't unbolt from the trim. It's all cast one piece, if I'm correct on that. So there'll be a lot coming up with this thing. I'm not going to do no refinishing. I love all this old worn out, you know, all this old worn out relicking. I mean, because this is the real thing. This thing's 46 years old. I was like 8 years old when this guitar was made. But it's really got some, you know, it's really going to, you know, I'm just going to clean it up. Got a set of tuners, the Guitar Fetish tuners, to kind of the old style tuners to go on it. And I'll have to use converter bushings since the holes in the headstock have been reamed out larger. But that'll be an improvement. But anyway, and everything's going to fall apart. But that's basically it. And so it's going to be interesting. You know, I've heard some videos with these, you know, the pickups sound really cool in these. 3-way switch, I think that's really neat. I've got some more knobs. So it's going to be a fret job, new tuners, clean up the electronics. The truss rod does work. I did take the cover off. It uses an Allen head adjustment, and the truss rod does work. So we're good to go. So this is going to be something I'm going to be working on, getting it up to speed. Like I say, new frets, new nut, new tuners, getting electronics all straight, little cleaning up. But ought to make a pretty cool guitar. I love the way the neck feels on this thing. I mean, it's really got a good profile to it. I mean, it really, and like I say, somebody has really played, this thing to wear those pickup covers down like that, wear those frets out. If this thing sounded terrible and wasn't, probably wouldn't have been played like it. So it's going to be interesting to see how it sounds in future videos. So that's just a quick look at that thing. Don't know any more about the history other than what I got from the seller, that it was, he had found 2 guitars in a barn in California. This and a bass. Didn't get the bass, it was already gone, but we did get this one. And I know a lot of people will say, oh, these pre-80s copies, they're not this, that, and the other. It's 46 years old. It's still around. Let's see how many Harley Bentons are around in 46 years. So, these things, if they weren't no good, they wouldn't be around being played 46 years later. So everybody's got their own opinion. I think it's pretty cool. We're going to see what we can do with it. So, if this was interesting, educational, informative, give me a thumbs up. If you hadn't subscribed, consider subscribing. And hey guys, I appreciate all my subscribers out there. And, hit the like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. So until the next time, see you.